Welcome students. Today we are going to start the revision of lesson number 6, the circulatory system. Circulatory system is comprises of the heart, blood vessels and blood which circulates throughout the body, thereby helping in the transport of nutrients, oxygen and carbon dioxide. So with the help of the blood throughout our body, the nutrients and carbon dioxide is circulating. So and the three principal fluids of our body, that is the blood, lymph and tissue fluid. The blood is consist of the blood vessels, that is the arteries, veins and capillaries. The second principal fluid is the tissue fluid, the fluid which is present in the spaces, and it is also called as a interstitial fluid. And the third principal fluid is the lymph. This lymph contains lymphatic vessels and lymphatic organs. So now our next topic we are going to learn how the blood, lymph and tissue fluid, they are showing the relationship between each other. This shows that a diagrammatic representation of the relationship between blood, tissue fluid and lymph as they circulate in their respective vessels or spaces between the cells in the different organs. From this diagram you will understand that the blood in our body is always through in the blood vessels. So that type of system we called as a closed vascular system. The heart acts as a pump, pushes and receives the blood. That such type of blood system we called as a closed vascular system. And opposite to this closed vascular system, in certain animals like insects, flows into the open spaces, that is called as a open vascular system. Our next topic is the heart. So heart size is the one folded fins. That one folded fist, our size of the heart is the like one folded fist. And the weight of the heart is generally 225 to 340 gram. And students, the heart is located in the center of the chest cavity and with its tip slightly tilted to the left side. And our heart is enclosed in the double membrane that is called as a pericardium. That pericardium containing the double membrane and the double membrane space containing the pericardial fluid. And this pericardial fluid is very important for that to avoid the jerk, stray shocks. So now students, the main function of the heart to receive the blood, to pump the blood and to keep the blood in circulating manner throughout the body. And it is always remember, the blood flows in our body through the blood vessels. Heart is divided, internally our heart is divided two portions, that is the left portion and right portion by the septum, that membrane we called as a septum. After that our heart is divided again the horizontally. So each half is divided, each half is further divided horizontally into two chambers. Upper chambers are called as a auricles and downside chambers are called as a ventricles. So dear students, there are two auricles and two ventricles. So our heart are having four chambers. Both side auricles are called as a receiving chamber. Why? It is because the auricles of the heart, they are receiving the blood from the all body parts. And the ventricles are called as a distributing chamber, as they distribute the blood to all over the body. So that is called as a distributing chamber. Right auricle is always open to the right ventricle and it is guarded by the wall that is called as a tricuspid wall. And the left auricle is also giving blood to the left ventricle. It is also guarded by the wall that is called as a bicuspid wall, and that is the semilunar wall. The blood flows from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery and from the left ventricle into aorta, that is the largest artery. The flow of blood from ventricles into these two arteries is also guarded by the wall that is called as a semilunar walls. Now students, come to the next topic, that is the pacemaker. If it is asked in exam, write note on pacemaker. So first you have to write down about the pacemaker. Our heart is the muscular organ which is made up of the specialized type of the cells that is called as a cardiac muscles, and these cardiac muscles continuously showing the movement that is contraction and relaxation. Due to this continuous contraction and relaxation, there is a result of an electrical impulse which originates in a node that is called as a sinoatrial or SA node. This node is located in the right auricle, and this is responsible for setting a rhythm for contractions and relaxation of the heart. Simply we called as a heartbeat. Hence it is also called as a natural pacemaker of the heart. If it is asked in exam, write the types of the blood vessels. So there are three types of the blood vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries are giving the blood, that is oxygenated blood, to all over the body, means from heart to the all over the body. And the veins are collecting the deoxygenated blood from all over the body to the heart. So from all over the body to the heart the flow is going on. And the capillaries are the finest network which is attached to the interconnecting between arteries and veins. In that way the situation is there. So students, if it is asked in exam, give the differences between arteries and veins. So you have to give the type of the blood, then flow of direction of the blood, then how the speed of the blood is there. So this point you have to explain. Pulmonary vein always carry oxygenated blood. Pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood. This is the exception. If there are some blood vessels of the heart is there. The first one is the vena cava. So vena cava consists of the two types, the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Second one is the pulmonary veins, third is the pulmonary trunk, and the fourth one is the aorta. The fifth one is the coronary artery, and the sixth is the coronary veins. The right part of the heart always contains the deoxygenated blood, and the left part of the heart contains the oxygenated blood. And students, now what is meant by double circulation? At first the blood flows from the right side of the heart to the lungs and then returns to the left side of the heart. This is called as a pulmonary circulation. And the second time the blood flows from the left side of the heart to all parts of the body and then returns to the right side of the heart. That is called as a systematic circulation. So that blood passes through the heart twice, once when it is deoxygenated and then after getting oxygenated. This is called as a double circulation. Now students, how the blood circulation is going on in the heart? The deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body is received in the right auricle. Simultaneously, oxygen-rich blood returning from lungs to receive to the left auricle. The right auricle contracts and pumps deoxygenated blood into the right ventricle. Simultaneously, the left auricle contracts, sending the oxygenated blood into the left ventricle. The arterioventricular walls close with a sound when the ventricles are full. At the same time, the semilunar walls open and the right ventricle begins to contract and the deoxygenated blood is pushed into the pulmonary artery, which transport this blood to the lungs for oxygenation. Similarly, the left ventricle contracts and oxygenated blood is pushed into the aorta with a great pressure because the blood has to reach all parts of the body. The semilunar walls close with a sound when the blood in the ventricles has been pushed into the arteries. This is the end. This is the end of a ventricular contraction. So students, in that manner the blood circulation is completed. So we learn the blood circulation and double circulation. Now students, we have to define what is meant by tissue fluid. As the blood flows in the capillaries, so they leak out and it containing only the plasma and leukocytes. That is called as a tissue fluid. The second one is the lymph and lymphatic system. Some of the tissue fluid may be reabsorbed into the blood vessels, but most of it enters into the another set of minute channels. That is named as lymph vessel, and then it is called as a lymph. And the lymphatic system consists of the lymphatic organs such as spleen and the tonsils, a conducting network of lymph vessels and circulating lymph. And the students, the lymph contains the cellular part and the liquid part. Now if it is asked in exam, write the functions of the lymph. So first you have to write down the nutritive functions. Whatever oxygen and nutrients are needed to the body, it is going on with the help of the lymph. Where blood is not reached, that time the lymph is giving these nutrients and oxygen. Second function is the drainage. Whatever waste metabolic products are there, carbon dioxide is there, that it drains away excess tissue fluid and metabolites and returns proteins to the blood from tissue spaces. And the third function is the absorption. So what is the fats are present in the intestine? It gets absorbed by the lymph.